owning a bookstore was not like my childhood dream. I wasn't one of those girls. I actually was not a reader at all. My parents couldn't pay me to read a book. In fact, the only
Wow.
F I ever received in my entire life was for a reading class because I refused to read whatever they told me to read. It's not that I was bad at reading, I just didn't wanna do it. I found no enjoyment in it until I found, like, Harry Potter, and then I was like,
Mm,
"Oh, I like books," you know? But then I finished Harry Potter, and my mind told me that no book would ever be as good as that, so there wasn't any point. So I
mm.
didn't read anything again for a long time, and then as a teenager, I found Twilight, and I was like, "Oh, there are books for teenagers too." And then once again, the brain told me this is it. This is the best it's gonna be. So just don't we're not gonna bother trying to find anything else. So again,
That's so
didn't read
funny.
for a really long time. And then I mean, I would pick things up here and there, but there was not like a, "Oh my gosh, I love this so much. Like, let's make this my entire life." It just didn't happen for a long time. And then as most of so many of the other like current book girlies, I found ACOTAR, and that was like the
Yeah.
tipping point where I was like, yeah, no, I can do this for the rest of my life. But just give me a book to read. There's got to be other good things out there. So it made me fall back in love with reading, but also in a way that I knew I wanted to read other things. Whereas
Yeah.
whenever I was younger, I was like, if nothing is gonna be this good, I don't want it. I guess I was just really picky back then. Anyways,
Hey.
so within like 2 months, I came up with the idea of I could just open up a bookstore.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Untitled Work in Podcast. I'm your co-host, Darcy.
And I'm your co-host, Lauren.
And today we have with us Kristen Rochelle, owner of the Lazy Daisy Bookshop in Jacksonville,
Woo!
North Carolina. Yay!
Yeah!
The Lazy Daisy Bookshop started as a mobile bookshop in 2023
Mhm.
and has grown to a
That's so
physical
cool.
location. And they even have a little sip shop inside, which I think is the best way to do a bookshop.
So cute.
They're a new and used fiction bookstore with an emphasis on romance and fantasy, and they host multiple events a month, so you guys should check those out.
Mhm.
They have author
Yeah.
signings, craft nights, book clubs, and themed events,
So
and
much.
so many things. And personally, probably the coolest thing I think is that they've also have hosted 2 romantasy balls in the past year, which is so awesome. Um, and so Kristen, uh, welcome in. Just to get
Yeah!
us,
Thank you.
yeah, of course, and
Thank
to
you.
get the
Thank you.
ball rolling. I guess I'll ask you what I ask everybody. What is currently on your TBR or your TBL?
Thank you. Thank you so much, by the way, for having me.
Yay!
Current TBR, honestly, is so many things because in the midst of all the moving that we've done over the last few months and getting resettled into
Yeah.
our new store, I haven't gotten to read a whole lot. But
Same.
I'm like 4 pages into Dire Bound. I'm gonna
Okay.
get that one done. Um,
Nice.
Also about 7 pages into Abby Jimenez's new book because I loved book one. It just happened to be
Ooh.
sitting right there.
Ooh.
And then
Love it.
Right to the Starling, of course, just came out. So I'm itching to actually. I got the physical copy of that one, but that one's probably going to be a listen for me.
Okay.
I get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I think Direbound, the cover was actually done by Sasha, the guest that we had
Oh,
on who
yeah.
does cover design for book covers. Yeah.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
love it.
Yeah. She did a great
Yeah,
job. That's
I'm
awesome.
looking
Man.
forward to getting through that one eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time is never on when you run a small business or a small anything or anything.
Yeah.
Just never have the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't open a
Very
bookstore
true.
Totally
because you'll
get that.
never get to read again.
No, that's so sad.
That is sad. Yeah, I currently have a book I'm listening to on my car rides, and then I'm reading 2 other books.
Dang. I've been doing that, but it's just so hard to like keep up with some of the like timelines. I don't know. I'm doing that for like one author in a world that she's created, and there's like 2 series that I'm reading that I didn't know there was another series to, and then the book was on hold, and I don't know, it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair. I finally got a library card, so I've been really using
Did
that.
you? I
Yeah.
love it. Oh my gosh. Well, bookstores are kind of like libraries. They have that same community vibe and feel. I'm just excited to
Yeah.
hear more about like your bookstore and like how you got that started.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the the Lazy Daisy?
Yeah.
Mm.
Owning a bookstore was not like my childhood dream. I wasn't one of those girls. I actually was not a reader at all. My
No
parents
way.
couldn't pay me to read a book. In fact, the only
Wow.
F I ever received in my entire life was for a reading class because I refused to read whatever they told me to read. It's not that I was
No
bad at
way.
reading. I just didn't want to do it. I
That's so
found no
funny.
enjoyment in it until I found like Harry Potter. And then I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, I like books," and then but then I finished Harry Potter and my mind told me that no book would ever be as good as that, so there wasn't any point. So I
Mm.
didn't read anything again for a long time. And then as a teenager, I found Twilight and I was like, "Oh, there are books for teenagers too." Um, and then once again, the brain told me, "This is it. This is the best it's gonna be, so just don't we're not gonna bother trying to find anything else." Uh, so again,
That's so
didn't read
funny.
for a really long time. And then, I mean, I would pick things up here and there, but there was not like a, oh my gosh, I love this so much. Like, let's make this my entire life. It just didn't happen for a long time. And then
Wild.
as so many of the other like current book girlies, I found Cactar, and that was like the
Yeah.
tipping
Yep.
point where I was like, yeah, no, I can do this for the rest of my life. Just give me a book to read. There's gotta be other good things out there, so it made me fall back in love with reading, but also
Mm.
at in a way that I knew I wanted to read other things. Whereas
Mhm.
Yeah.
whenever I was younger, I was like, "No. One thing, if nothing is gonna be this good, I don't want it." I guess I was just really picky back then. Anyways,
Hey.
so, within, like, 2 months, I came up with the idea of I could just open up a bookstore because I wanted to have make some sort of small business for myself. I wanted to do something,
Hmm.
but I didn't know what that something was. And I was like, I could do a bookstore. There's not one of those around here because there is not. We have Barnes& and Noble and Second and Charles. We also have a
Mm.
teeny tiny little, fully used bookstore, but it's one of those bookstores where you walk in and it's books from the floor to the ceiling,
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
and there's no telling what you're gonna find in there. So,
yeah.
completely
It's a
different
treasure hunt.
vibe. So I was like, "Yeah, well, I could do that," and within 2 months, I was open with my mobile
Whoa.
wow.
bookstore. Like, it was just when things happen, I won't say it was easy, but when it happens in such
Mhm.
a way that, it just happens so quickly and it comes so naturally, I
Yeah.
just felt like I was meant to do this. This was meant,
Yeah.
to be my path, and then pretty quickly, I got the opportunity to grow, and then I got the opportunity to grow again, so I'm just like, "Yep,
Wow.
There
we're,
you go.
so we've and, I'm actually just about to celebrate, like, 3 years officially being open, and so much has
Yay.
happened in that
Yay.
3 years. Like, it's kind of
Yeah.
crazy that it's only been 3 years.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
That's
it's just a
awesome,
What's
fun
like
though.
place. I just wanted it to be, like, one of those 3rd places, where people can anyone can come, of course, we're fantasy romance is what sells the most, and romance in general, especially in a military town like I live in. The
Mm.
demographics is just those young women like me, my age group. So
Yeah.
they kind of niched us out, which is fine because that's what I read to. And so it's definitely a bit more like female geared.
Mhm.
Okay.
But like I said, we're still a place for anybody to come. And most people really love it. Even the guys that come in are like, wow, you did a great job. And I'm like, thank
Aw.
you.
There you
You wanna buy a
go.
book?
Nice.
Yeah, buy my book.
I have a book for you. I love it. I love it.
I love that.
Well,
That's really cool though. That's a really fast journey on like expanding and growing as a
Yeah.
bookstore owner. So that's really awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
so wild.
Yeah.
I'm just
What
waiting
are
for
Oh,
some
the
of
that's
the
point where
like
I can settle.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I bet. Yeah.
I
It's
don't know what
not
that feels
changing
like.
every year. Yeah. Yeah. What are
Yeah.
some of the like highlights of the last 3 years for like the different growth and experiences? Because Darcy lists off so many things that you do at your bookstore. Like you've
Yeah.
got the coffee bar, you've got the bookstore, you've got author events, you've got romantasy ball. Like there's just like there's so
I
many
mean,
things.
honestly, with so much in that 3 years, like, what isn't a highlight, I feel like,
Fair.
well, 99% of, like, running a business, being a storefront owner is getting people inside your shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Figuring out
Yeah.
a billion different ways to get people physically inside my store. So, I mean,
Mm,
and that's where most of the stuff that I do stems
yeah.
from the ideas for the craft nights and the book clubs and even
Yeah.
the balls, even though that's not held at my store, it's a way to get people to come to my business and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's just out of wanting to survive.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to you have to be creative,
Yeah.
you have to come up with all kinds of things, but it's also something that my community in particular did not have before. Of course,
Mm,
Barnes& and Noble, they hold some book clubs and stuff. Great. Midnight releases for the really popular
yeah.
stuff, wonderful. But,
Sure.
like, a community-centered place where you can just do fun, bookish things, just it wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, there's
Mm,
demand, and I was just trying to fulfill it. Um
There you
yeah.
go.
the ball's
Yeah.
probably one of my favorite parts. I
I bet.
just that was so
Yeah.
much fun, and I was
Ah.
able to meet and work with so many great people who are also just like,
Yeah.
"This is amazing," and there are also so many people that were like, "A fan? What is that?" And then they show up and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
like this."
Yeah.
Darcy can speak
But
to that. She went to one not too long ago.
I did. I went to my first one. Yeah. It's held by Met by Moonlight. Is in it in Georgia, and it was really cool. Like my best friend like designed like ball gowns, like
Oh,
true to form ball gowns, and like she went as Jude and Cade from A Cruel Prince, her and her husband. So
yeah,
they
so he had
were
the tail.
he did. It was like a little small like rope tail because I guess he has a rat tail. So
I know, I
but
found that out too, like, from some character art. I was like, "That's what that looks like?"
right? But yeah, she like designed these like she did it true to form. She was wearing like Jude's coronation dress with like the hair horns and everything. Like she designed it from scratch. It was beautiful. So those are really fun and a great community. So that's really cool that you've gotten to do those and be a part of those. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah.
fun. I don't know when my next one's gonna be because it takes a lot of
Oh
effort
my
I
gosh,
can
for
I
it.
bet.
imagine.
I
Yeah.
bet.
We'll see.
Yeah.
um. Well, speaking of like foot traffic and bringing people in, so I know you do all these other events at the bookstore and everything like that, but how do you go about like promoting that to make sure it gets out to everybody so that they know like, hey, my bookstore is the place to be?
So, I'm a millennial through and through at this point, all millennial in business. Social media, of course, is the best
Yeah.
tool that we have. One, because it's mostly free,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
most of us small businesses don't have the kind of capital to be putting into like actual advertising. I will get people that come
Yeah.
into my store all the time and it's like, "Hey, you can get this advertising package and we're gonna put your ad on the back of these receipts at the
Ah.
local grocery store." And it's like, "Okay, that sounds like a great idea." And then you spend hundreds of dollars on it, and then nothing ever happens from it. Like,
Mm,
it's just not worth it, or it hasn't been for me so far is my,
Mhm.
experience with it. But social media is free. You can pay into it, which does help, and I have done that, like for advertising there. But
okay.
what I've done like several different social media
Yeah.
avenues,
Yeah.
TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, and what I have found is Facebook is actually more likely to be your local people on there.
Oh.
Instagram's great.
Okay.
and
That
I'll
makes
have
sense, actually.
I'll have a ton of, um, like, interaction, and Instagram is more of my like, I love Instagram a little bit more. It's more fun to me. Um, and I might have a ton of followers on there, but they're not coming to my store. They don't live anywhere near
Mhm.
me
Mm,
most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Facebook is where people go to look up, like, what's going on this weekend,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
most
Hmm.
of our, like trail, like, how I can actually see where people are coming from is from Facebook. I can tell that is what
Mm,
there is reaching them, like, my local community base, to bring them into the store. Um,
hmm.
I've done I mean, of course, we have a website too, and in my area, people would be directed to our website pretty easily on Google
Mm.
because there's not a whole lot of bookstores that are gonna pop up. Which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
great, but keeping up with a website is also very hard, especially when you're doing it yourself and you have 100 other things to
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
we don't necessarily keep ours as up to date as we should, but Facebook is like a running record, and it's just a whole lot easier
Yeah.
to create a million events or something
Yeah.
and push it that way.
Yeah.
And then,
There you go.
I've actually never even I've had the plans to start a newsletter forever. Never done it.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah. Yeah.
just
They're
haven't gotten
hard.
to that point. I don't know how useful that I mean, I get a bunch of them from authors and all kinds of places,
Yeah.
but I don't know that they would necessarily influence people to come to the store. It might. I probably need to do that.
Yeah.
But just put it on my list of things to do.
Yeah.
The
Just
never-ending to-do list, it just keeps getting longer and longer
CVS
and longer.
receipt.
Right.
Right? For
Yeah.
it's like a Costco receipt over here. Good grief.
Oh, um, well, so I know that with your bookstore, you host a lot of like independently published books. Like you guys do
Mhm.
local and
Yeah.
non-local independently published.
Yeah.
Is there a specific like metric or system that like the independently published authors have to go about to be seen by you in order to get put in your store?
Um, I did so there's so many forms avenues of communication. Another
Mhm.
thing that whenever you run a business or an author, have
Yeah.
anything like publicly, you find out that I have to check these 14 different ways of people who are trying to communicate with me every morning. You've got the social
Mhm.
Yeah.
media and the messaging and the email and the text and whatever else. Um,
It's like that movie. Did you ever see, oh, shoot, the one with Drew Barrymore and Scarlett Johansson, and he's just not that into you, and Drew
Oh,
Barrymore's character is talking about how there's, like, 13 different ways to be rejected by a man. It's on on his email and phone and fax and text, and, it's just so much to
yeah.
keep up with.
so much, yeah.
So I get a bunch of people that will message my Instagram. But trying to keep up with Instagram DMs is it's kind of impossible. Things get lost and it's just not for me it's not the best avenue to go. I mean, interact with stores, absolutely, because they'll see that
Yeah.
and then that name will start becoming familiar and stuff. And then
Yeah.
whenever you actually do get in contact with them, you're like, oh yeah, seen
Yeah.
you or I've heard about you. But
Okay.
Mhm.
for me personally, email if you can't be in person. In person,
Mm.
I mean, get in front of me, and it's not so easy for me to ignore you. Not on purpose. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
ignore
Yeah,
people on
yeah,
purpose.
yeah. Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
that email, if it just happens to come in at the same time as 20 other things, it might be a little bit before I
yeah.
get to it. But if you can get
Right.
Yeah.
in front of my face and be like, "Hey, talk to me for a second," most likely I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, yes, tell me, bring me your book." But I know obviously that's difficult. But beyond for indie authors and stuff, just trying to get out there and depending
Yeah.
on how many bookstores are in their area. But for me, it's email. Visuals are I would
Yeah.
say visuals help more than just sending
Okay.
like a block of
Mm.
text. Like, hey, this
Yeah.
is my
Okay.
book,
That
and
makes sense.
this is what
Yeah.
um this is what people are liking because people shop with their eyes. They do. They're gonna judge covers. Bookstore owners and
Mhm.
people
Yeah.
who stock also have to do that too because they have to look at something and say, "Are my
Yeah.
customers gonna buy that? Are my customers gonna look
Yep.
at that?" So
Yep.
it is important, and so it's just getting like, showing, even if you're just emailing in something, showing these, like,
Yeah.
bookstore owners or managers or reps that you're trying to pitch your book to, like, physically showing it to them as best as possible.
Kristen, do you ever see like EPKs come through, or does that ever like a helpful thing for you, like the electronic press kits that authors can build out? That's like the blurb, the cover art, the what do you call it, like the character art, all like just these different things like created in a nice format. Do you see that come through very often? And if you do, is that more helpful than maybe just the regular email you get from an author? It's like block of text and maybe like a book cover attached to it.
Yeah. I don't know that I see it come through, like, directly to me personally very often, but
Yeah.
I think that I would be more receptive to that, than the block of text type thing, just because we have to read
Okay.
a million things a day. If I have to read a whole
Yeah.
big, long email, I'm probably not gonna.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely.
Valid, yeah.
It's a lot of time and effort. All right, homework for all authors listening that are querying bookstores right now. Go build an EPK.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes,
It'll help.
that's a great, and have you a professional headshot
Mm.
it's one of
Oh.
my personal little pet peeves, and I know that's me being a little nitpicky, and I've never turned anyone away because they haven't had a decent headshot, but you can tell someone that just put their phone on the window like I have now, and then they just, like, self-timered a little shot, and it's blurry, it's just not a good, because I take
Mm.
the author headshots and I bring them into my own marketing, and I'm usually like, I try to remove backgrounds and try to make it,
Mm,
like, cutesy and stuff, and it's hard to do whenever it's just
Okay.
not a good picture. So, I've almost
Yeah.
even wanted
Yeah.
to host, like, a free author headshot event at my bookstore because I feel so
Oh, that's
strongly
such a
about
good
this.
idea.
that is that's a great idea.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
It's
Yeah.
hard sometimes to get, like, the professional headshots. I know,
Mhm.
For sure,
I don't.
yes.
I don't have one.
Yeah.
So which I gotta work on, but
But even an iPhone can take an amazing picture if with the right
Yeah.
that
lighting
is
and
true.
stuff, so
Yeah. Yeah,
That is very true,
absolutely.
yeah. Just spend more time on the headshot itself, making it crisp
Right.
yes.
so that it can be marketable.
Yes,
Yeah, or
yeah,
get
That
like
makes
get a
sense.
friend to help out with it. Like you're saying, like come to the bookshop, like as a group of people, and like we can help each other get something crisp.
yeah. Someone's got the newest iPhone that takes an amazing picture.
Sure
That's true.
enough.
That's not me, but that is true.
It
Somebody
is
out
also
there.
not me.
Somebody, yeah. So I know you said that you guys have a website. Do you guys, I guess what I wanted to bring around to the website portion of it is that can people order books from the website? Like, how are you combating, I guess, the Amazon of it all? How they kind of like have like a chokehold on like the internet access to books? And how can we as readers help more bookstores?
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah,
Are
online
you putting it all
ordering.
on Kristen to take on Amazon?
no,
Yeah, here we
Kristen, how are you
go.
taking on Amazon with your website?
no, sorry.
Um,
I should have worded the question better. I'm
online
sorry.
ordering is it's great and it's wonderful, as like that kinda secondary income source, like, than people physically getting in the store.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, most independent bookstores just cannot compete with the prices that and now it's not even just Amazon, you've got Walmart and Target and stuff, and
Yeah.
that these
Yeah.
these big box places that will still automatically discount the books so low that it's like, if I did that, I would be losing money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So you're gonna have those readers and those shoppers that are they're looking for the best deal on their book, and they're gonna go to one of those
Yeah.
places, and there's nothing we can do about it. But so yes, my website we actually just revamped it because I switched over systems to Book Manager, and
Oh.
you might not have heard of it, but other independent bookstores probably have. It's like the golden standard of independent bookstores. It was developed by an independent bookstore in Canada, so they're
Oh,
super nice. Um,
love it.
but
So they're
it's
super nice. I love it.
so
That's so
my
sweet.
new website is very intuitive, and it does so many things. I can keep my events much more up to date, and people can RSVP to things and buy tickets, and they can search for books that I have in my store. They can also search for books that I don't
Mm.
have in my store, which I couldn't do before, because I just use
Oh.
Oh,
Square, and Square is a nightmare for bookstores. But,
Oh, dang.
so it's great to have. I mean, every bookstore and author should have a way that people can order directly through them online. Authors should do that too. I mean, because there are
yeah.
lots of people who do want to directly support that author, knowing that they make
Mhm.
pennies off of each book, that they sell. So both
Mhm.
should definitely have that option. Um, I will say my personally, probably the vast majority of the traffic we see from our website is things that we directed people to via like a social media post.
Okay.
Mm.
So like a
Okay.
ticket for
Gotcha.
something, or this book just showed up. Like we only have 6. Make sure you get one like right now. So it's a very intentional, like of
Yeah.
pushing people to go to the website for this. But even that is still a lot of, like, just locals, and then they'll come and pick it up later. E we have a
Mm.
Gotcha.
hard time. We haven't really broken out into, like, worldwide shipping or anything like that. We do get some orders from around the country, but it's not a main income source. And I probably could do more with, like, SEO and all that, but I haven't gotten there yet. I don't know that
Yeah,
I
understandable.
should, but I haven't. But
It's
yeah,
totally
it's tough.
understandable.
It's tough, but it's also
Yeah.
necessary. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So besides, I guess, buying books, because I know your main revenue, of course, is going to be your locals that come in to buy the bookstores and stuff. But is there ways that we, as everywhere in the world or anybody, can
The
support
writing community,
bookstores?
reader community.
Yeah. Can support bookstores without like besides buying books.
Social media support is always free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, just to kind of help get word out there. Look at like
Okay.
the Rip Bodice. Everyone's heard of that independent bookstore in New York City, and they haven't been around that long, that it makes sense why they're so as famous as they are, but people talked about
Yeah.
it, and they talked about it some more, and they shared about it, and
Mm.
so now they always get like first pick to get all these amazing authors in there and stuff, and all these really cool deals, and
Okay.
and it's become a thing,
Yeah.
so really just getting the word out is
Okay.
Mhm.
it's free and it's easy, so that is always like a,
Okay.
a, a nice simple way that you can support anybody, author, bookstore, any
Okay.
podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That makes
um,
Absolutely.
sense. Yeah.
yeah. Beyond that, um, if you're physically able to, of course, like attend events and stuff, but that's not always
Yeah.
the
Okay.
case if it's like from far away.
Mhm.
Just getting in and uh, maybe not necessarily like buying the books, but just coming by and doing other things, participating in book
Yeah.
clubs, or joining a newsletter or something, or just
Yeah.
being involved in whatever capacity you're able to. And that's kind
Yeah.
of that
Gotcha.
that statement is kind of like my philosophy on everything is do anything to whatever capacity you can at that given time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
for authors, for small businesses, um, just start where you can, do what you can, and then if you have the opportunity to grow and do more, like if you can buy some books later on from the website,
Yeah.
wonderful. Until then, maybe join the newsletter or share their stuff on social media or something. You know,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
just do what
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I have a question. So just going back a little bit to what we were talking about of metrics and stuff, because I think it ties into this a little bit of, doing what you can, participating. You mentioned the Rip Bodice getting authors in. What are some things that you look for metric wise, or that other bookstores look for metric wise when deciding when to stock an indie book? Because then that could open up the door to those things that we were just talking about of like coming in for author events and all that stuff. But like, what is it like? What's the qualifications for you since you do stock indie books, not just local indie books, but indie books, period?
That way it is tough because I don't necessarily know that there's one specific thing or a very consistent standard to that me
Yeah.
or, like, my staff or manager has used. A lot of
Okay.
times it's
Yeah.
something that we've heard of, or an
Okay.
author that we've heard of, or
Yeah.
just one of our customers or friends came to us and said, "Hey, there's this book, you should get it." Alright, say
Okay,
less,
so
we'll
word of
do that.
Ah.
mouth.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, and especially in our
Nice.
store,
Yeah.
because I'm not the most researchy type of store owner,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I hope that's not taken in a in a negative light, but I just
No,
go with what
no.
works usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so,
Trust
uh,
the gut.
yeah,
Yeah.
what we
You're doing
stock is
something right.
I trust the people who walk into my store and are buying the books. I wanna know what they
That's
want.
great.
So
That's
so I
great.
Yeah.
ask them what they're reading and what they like and stuff, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of just word of mouth, for me,
Yeah.
but I know that that's not
Yeah.
always possible, but,
Mhm.
um, I wonder if, and I'm kind of going off a little bit here,
Yeah.
authors can use a bit more than just, like, a blurb, um,
Mm.
Okay.
review, you know? If there's some way to do a
Yeah.
little bit more than that. Maybe even capturing and sharing, like, the social media post that someone made. You know how, like, some
Okay.
bookstagrammers or book talkers will, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
they'll create a cute little graphic that, like, "I read this book,
Yeah.
and these are the tropes and all this stuff, and this was my spice
Yeah.
rating and my stars and stuff," like, getting permission, obviously, to use those things and being like, "This like, from the wild, like, this is what someone said about my
Yeah.
book," type thing.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
notice that,
Love that.
me personally,
That's
if someone
awesome.
was sending
Yeah.
those kind of things to me, because that is
Yeah.
what I naturally see, like, and look for whenever I'm scrolling on Instagram and stuff,
Gotcha.
and Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take those a little
Yeah.
bit more than just reading a general review on Goodreads, because
Yeah.
they put a lot more time into it, so they must feel some sort of way about it,
Yeah.
hopefully, if it's
That's
not like a
awesome.
paid review. Um
I also think that's a great just reminder for authors that like going back to the EPK thing even, like that should go in an EPK, an electronic press kit.
Mm.
And basically like having a slide or a page that's like user generated content, right? UGC of like
Yeah,
this is what, these different people created. And even if you have like maybe your street team, your marketing team, the people that just want to support you, be able to go out there and create that or get that traction going for word of mouth, like the word of mouth is just so powerful, but then you can
Yeah.
capture that and then bottle it up, quote unquote,
yeah, yeah,
and put that in a way that you can then send and share it with other people.
mhm. I mean, as far as metrics go, it is always, it's always nice to see, like, we were number whatever on, like, a Goodreads list or, an Amazon list. I mean, that's of course, always include that stuff too, because it's good to know people are
Yeah,
actually buying and
Yeah.
reading and enjoying
yeah,
your book enough, hopefully, to leave a good review, and it's not a bad
yeah.
review.
Yeah.
But, so
Yes,
that
yes,
is always good stuff to include too. I do
yeah,
kind of wonder, you just talked about street team. It made me
Mm.
think I have received emails from street team members of independent authors.
yeah,
Um, that says something else to me than just an author reaching out and it's like, "Here, buy my book."
yeah.
It's someone else
Yes,
actually taking the
Gotcha.
responsibility to say, "You should buy
mm,
the it's not mine. I have no stake in this,
yeah,
but I
Mm.
liked it and you probably would
yeah,
too."
yeah,
So maybe getting more street team
hmm.
members to actually do some of this, like, if they're willing to, of
Dang,
course. This,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
they're reaching out. It
Yeah,
just says
nice.
slightly different than, "This is mine. Please buy it."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Makes
No, that's
sense
great.
though. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So with independent publishing, a lot of people they do the ebooks first before they have hardcovers. Um is there any way like that bookstore owners can like sell like the ebook version of things, or is that kind of not
they're all relegated
So,
to Amazon.
yeah,
Sad.
that's
okay.
I won't say that's the problem, because if that's what indie authors can do, it's what they can do. I mean, they really have 2 options these days, and it's Amazon or Ingram, like, when it comes to printing books, and both are kind of terrible sometimes. I don't know.
They
But,
don't have the best reviews some days.
most of the time, it's gonna be like the KU, it's on KU type thing, like an Amazon ebook. There's no way for me to have any, or I mean, sorry, I independent bookstores, at least as far as I'm aware, to have any sort of anything to do with that. However,
Okay.
there are, so bookshop.org just started doing ebooks, and I
Oh,
haven't
nice.
dived too deep into it, so I can't say much about it, but
Yeah.
there is supposedly some sort of way that bookshop.org, which is the Amazon competitor that directly benefits independent bookstores.
Oh, cool.
They
Oh.
actually
Yeah.
I received like a payout from that last year that I was like, "What is this?" It was not a small amount of money that would that
There you
they were just like,
go.
"Here's a check." And I was like, "I didn't
Wow.
sell these books through you." And they're like, "So what they do is anyone who
Oh, yes,
purchases
I've
from
heard of this.
bookshop.org, yeah, it goes into like a pool, basically. If you can
Yes.
opt to specify a store, or if you
Yes.
don't specify a store, it'll go into this payout pool, basically. And then
Mhm.
like once or twice a year, they will divide all that up between all the
Mhm.
bookstores on bookshop.org, and they'll all
Yeah.
get a check.
Yeah.
So I got that check, and I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. So even though I had
So cool.
nothing to do with most of that. It was actually very
Yeah.
nice. So absolutely
Oh,
support
yeah.
them when you can. And they will usually
Yeah.
have sales like Amazon does too. It's like an Amazon
Yeah.
alternative for ordering books online. But they recently supposedly started doing ebook stuff. So we all
Okay.
collectively need to look into that, I guess, because I haven't.
Homework for all of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Not just the listeners.
I I had never actually heard of that website, so that's a really cool
Really.
way for people to
Hmm.
still support small
Yeah.
bookstores. I love that. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is
And there's
really cool.
also Libro.fm does about the same thing, but with
Mhm.
audiobooks.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
an Audible alternative. Works
Mhm.
fairly the same way. You can either buy books like by credit or
Mhm.
like a subscription, like a monthly subscription.
Yeah.
But again, the there will be like a small a commission paid out to like an independent bookstore for every
Yeah.
purchase that you make,
Mhm.
instead of Amazon. And
Yeah.
Very good to know
the
about.
the only downfall there is there are, of course, you have those Audible exclusive audiobooks that
Mhm.
hopefully we're
Yeah.
getting away from. I don't know. That
Yeah.
those things Libro.fm just can't get. But overall,
Right.
like the vast majority of books on my shelves, I can get in Libro.fm.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I
pretty
think Candace
awesome.
mentioned that.
I
We
think
had
so, yeah,
a
the
guest
Libro.
on recently, yeah, that, is a podcast or a not podcast. She's a narrator, voiceover narrator for audiobooks. And I think she mentioned Libro, but yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's really love knowing alternatives to the big tree company. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so I know you at the Lazy Daisy, you guys kind of focus more on like romance and fantasy. But are there any like specific trends or themes that you're seeing in the bookstore space overall that's happening right now?
Um, ooh,
Put you on the spot on this one.
yeah, like are we talking like cover art trends or subgenres in general or tropes or I feel like
um
there's so many things that kind of, it just kind of there's a up and down for kind of everything, I feel like.
Mhm.
okay.
Um, I've
What about
definitely go ahead.
oops, sorry. I was gonna say what about like cover art trends? Like we'll break it down
Mm.
into pieces.
Um, I I do think, and people might don't crucify me for this. I
Don't come
do
at
I
her.
do think I do think we're slightly starting to move away from like the cartoon people.
Okay.
Mhm. Mhm. The cartoon
Um,
people. It's so true, though.
um, some are beautiful, and I look. I mean, I just bought this one. That one just came out. But
Yeah.
it's you know, but there's also more going on to this than just the little cartoon people. And it's not
Yeah.
necessarily like them and their cartoony faces that you're drawn to. It's like the
Right.
color, the overall like color
Yeah.
thing. And then
Yeah.
obviously that's still very much a thing. The sprayed
Sprayed
edges.
edges.
Those,
and I love
yeah.
that. Personally, give me a sprayed edge, I'll be happy. But, we definitely see a lot of dark, a lot of
Hmm.
black.
Okay.
What's that book you're looking for? I don't know, but the cover's black.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lots of the black and the skulls and like, the roses and stuff,
Mm.
that I don't think that's really changing when it comes to fantasy covers and dark romance covers, like, they're still fairly consistent. Um, I think now more so what we're seeing and that I guess I'm specifically talking about trad published, so this doesn't necessarily, come into
Sure.
play with indie authors, but, like, now we're
Yeah.
getting, like, pretty end papers and things like that
Mm.
that are mm, they're just starting to include, like, all these other little details,
Yeah.
that it's like,
Yeah.
you need this version of this book because there's a different character art on the inside cover, you
Mm.
know, things like that.
Ah.
Um,
That's something I bet
Okay.
indie authors could add in if they wanted to.
Yeah.
A
it's
little bit more
yeah,
complex, but yeah, yeah.
yeah. Not everyone has access to do sprayed edges and stuff, and some people have
Right.
opinions about that, like, they either love them or they hate them. But, uh, yeah, I mean, I think my only note as far as the trend, the cover trend is that I've noticed is that maybe moving away from, like, the character art covers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just don't know that they're
Yeah.
they don't have quite the effect that they used to for some
Yeah.
There's
things.
so many.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
There
just
are
too
so many.
many. What are you seeing them move towards instead, out of curiosity?
Um, it's a lot of like, I don't wanna say planty things, that sounds dumb, but
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I
That
know what you
makes
but
mean, like
sense though.
greenery.
there's always some sort of, like and it's done in a very artistic way, like having these, like,
Yeah, yeah,
vines or,
yeah.
um, something or
That's
flowers, like,
funny.
wrapped around and then, again, speaking directly to fantasy at this point, or a
Yeah.
sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that. Um, I think, me personally, I think, font choice is very important.
Mhm.
Okay.
If I look at a cover of a book and the font is it is just not there, it's not professional looking or it's boring or it doesn't
It's
have, like, the
papyrus.
impact. Yeah. I'm like, "Ugh, maybe not that one," you know?
Okay.
Mhm.
So just a nice pretty, like, good
Yeah.
impactful font, that, I know that's kind of silly to say, but it's
It
No,
makes sense.
no. Yeah, I think it's super valid, and honestly, I mean, I know this is, more into the book cover side of things, but, like, it's probably really important for authors to, market test your fonts, your cover ideas, things like that, and see what's actually resonating with people because you don't wanna get to a point where you've decided on it, you've paid someone to do it, you've invested all this time and effort into it, you publish the book, you send the book out, and then everyone's like, "Mm, yeah, bet. I don't know about that one."
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
cause you
yeah.
can you can do that with social media, like you've been saying, like, it's free, it's a great way to connect with people, like, people who wanna support independent authors, whether they're readers or just family and friends or whoever, like, you can just participate in that and just give some feedback, and, like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
super valid and important to an author.
Yeah, and I mean, like you were saying earlier too, like people do judge books by their cover. So like that's
100%.
that's the first thing anybody's gonna see. It's the first impression you're making about your book.
Yeah.
So makes
Absolutely.
total sense.
Yeah.
Are there any like I guess tropes? Like tropes are huge now. It didn't used to be like the end all be all for like everything.
Yep.
But I've noticed that tropes are really coming into the limelight. So are there any like tropes that you're seeing are like
Mm.
really trending right now?
Um, I okay, so talking more directly to, like, the romance of things, and because my store is a lot of romance, a lot of fantasy, but specifically talking about that romance bit, I I get more questions from readers now about that, "Why choose?" And I'm like,
Ah.
"Okay, That's over here
Nobody wants
in
a love triangle anymore.
midsection. So I'm
What?
seeing a lot more of that. But I know that's not every kind of romance, obviously. Um,
Right.
the I mean, enemies to lovers is still having its thing. People still love a good enemies to lovers,
Yeah.
or you know, coworker to something not lover to lover.
Yeah, academic
Yeah,
rival to lover.
Yeah.
replace enemies with whatever else to lovers. I mean, anything like that, they're probably gonna read it. They're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, there's some debate, and I've read some books about having like that soft female main character versus like
Mm.
the hard, rough, and tough female main character. When
Okay.
we read these books, uh, and I
Yeah.
think that just comes to relatability.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We as 2026 people, like women, reading these books about this girl who is just born with a sword in her hand and has the natural ability to like cut down a 7-foot Fey man.
Yeah.
We like to think
That happens.
that could be us.
Yeah.
But it's probably not. Whereas the soft female main character that
Mm.
would rather just read a book in a corner and please leave her alone. Um, a bit more relatable.
Hmm.
So
Fair.
I've seen that conversation with just
Okay.
some books and some book clubs that are like, I like that the female main character was a soft female main character where she wasn't
Mm.
this warrior.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes
Interesting.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've noticed that trend too, like a lot, like on the discourse within that on social media currently, because it's like some
Mm.
people are like, oh, I'm so sick of the soft female lean, like why can't we have a strong independent female that like will burn the world down? And then you have other people who are like, well, I like that because she's got this really like powerful man that still sees her for who she is and loves her for it, and like
Yeah.
so yeah, I've noticed a discourse on that.
Yeah. And just because she's soft doesn't mean she's not like capable of being independent and it's
Right.
not going to overcome what she has to overcome in this book. Like
Yeah.
it just means that she's not going to be at the front of the fairy war.
Right. I don't want to be at the front of the fairy war.
I don't want to be at the front of any war.
Yeah, no. Please let me just sit back there and watch. And I don't
I'll
even
read
want to
the
watch.
books.
I just want to
Yeah, I also
read
don't
the
want to
books.
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Are you seeing any genre shifts? Speaking of, tropes and stuff. I know your main focus is romance and romantasy. Like, and obviously you have other books and stuff too, but that being the main focus, are you seeing a shift even within like subgenre?
Um, just my store personally, we
Yeah.
sell more and more dark romance by the day.
Oh, interesting.
I can't keep that section stocked.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's
Interesting.
very big
Cool.
right now.
And dark is a subjective term. Are we talking like dark as in like ridiculously spicy, or just dark as in like darker themes? Like mafia. He's like
Very
actually
morally
a bad guy
gray.
kind of thing. Um,
So like darker worlds, that element
yeah.
of like a more like
Yep.
serious place. Okay.
Also
Okay.
seeing a
Interesting.
lot
Huh.
more like dark academia like based things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dark academia,
Yeah.
and like there's been a lot of tarot recently.
Oh, interesting.
That a bit more moodier vibe. I think it's just
Okay.
kind of
The
like
emo
what I'm seeing
romance.
a bit more. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Mhm.
I have been noticing that too. It's a harder time to find like some of the softer romances within like the romance genre right now. So
Man, now I want
yeah,
a dark
it's
academia book with like a like pastel pink cover.
that'd be
Just flip
so
it
good.
completely on its head.
Yeah. One of my local
So
indie
good.
authors, Kai Stevens, she's worth like looking into. She's both trad published and indie published, but
Oh, cool.
Okay.
I think she's working on a dark academia, but her covers are always so cute
Nice.
too. Anyways, look her up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kai
Yeah.
Stevens.
Yep. Adding it to the
Definitely.
homework.
Absolutely. 100%.
I lost my question, so it ran away.
It's gone.
Oh, this one's a little bit more on mine and helping me and Lauren out. Have you heard of any books that are a zombie rom-com?
Beyond Zom rom-com.
Beyond that one.
Beyond that one, yeah.
And Warm Bodies. Beyond Zom rom-com and Warm Bodies.
Warm
Yeah.
Bodies. Oh my gosh, I love that movie. I never read the book, but I loved that movie.
Okay.
Such a good movie.
You know, I have not yet.
Okay.
Solid,
Not that I've
solid.
specifically looked into it. I'm sure if I dug a little bit, we could find something. I had someone else ask about that not too long ago.
No way. Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
But
cool.
I was like, there's Zom rom-com, and they're like, oh, okay. So they hadn't heard of that one, so I was just like, there you go. I know the one.
All right.
Oh, hey, there's
Only
people asking
competition,
about
Darcy.
it.
Zom rom-com.
I'm not so sure about that. I'll have to look into it. That's kind of like one of those. I get so many. Like,
Yeah.
I want something that's like Fourth Wing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
In what way?
yeah.
Do you
Which
want
part of that?
dragons? Do you want what do you
Right.
want?
Like there's. I'm sure now we're gonna start to see more things like it. But before, when it first came out, people are like, I love this. What else is just like this? And I'm like, I don't know anything that is just like this. I mean, there probably
right.
is, but I'm not aware of it right now. We can go
Yeah.
the school route, or we can go the dragon route. I don't know. But
There's
yeah,
so many
yeah.
routes.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense.
Cool. Dang.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked that question, Darcy. It's a good question to ask.
Yeah, so I was sitting here, I was like, I
Wait a
wonder.
second. Yeah.
Zombies.
Right. Zombie rom-com.
That
Not a lot.
yeah, that's
It's a new
sounds
one.
a little gross to me.
No, I agree. I think it sounds gross too, but so cute.
You
but
came
gross
up
but
with
cute.
the idea.
I know. That's why it's so funny. Like, I think it's cute, but
we
it's
don't
gross.
judge.
We listen and we don't
No.
judge.
We listen and we don't
No.
judge.
It doesn't work in any other genre, and that's the hard part. I don't do zombies. Like, I watch like Zombieland like this. Like, I'm like, ew. Like the comedy part I love, but the zombie part I hate. But it's
Warm
also
Bodies
just
didn't
cute.
bother me.
Really? Well,
They
yeah,
did
Warm
it very
Bodies is a little.
tastefully.
Yeah.
But there was that show, iZombie. Did you ever watch that?
Oh, yes. I forgot about iZombie.
I feel like there's got to be a book like that somewhere. We just need to find it.
Actually, that's an excellent.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
That one's really good. Lauren,
I
that's
like that show.
she's a zombie and like it's got romance and she's
Is
like
that the
hiding
cheerleader
she's
one?
a zombie. No.
No.
That's
She's like a medical examiner.
Oh,
Yeah.
She
interesting.
works in a
wait.
hospital.
Is this like early
she's a zombie.
2000s
It was like, I don't know, within the last 10
I think
years.
so. Yeah.
or 2010s? Okay, I feel like I vaguely remember this concept, and it sounded great,
She has
but
like
it was zombies,
bright
so I
white
didn't watch it.
hair. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
good.
Her hair's like
Yeah.
this
Okay.
short, but super blonde, almost
Oh.
like white.
Okay,
I forgot
okay,
about
we'll have to
iZombie.
look
That's
that
a
up.
very good one. Yeah.
All right, now we have homework, Darcy.
We always have homework.
We do. Just add it to the to-do list.
Well, okay. So, if people wanted to support you and your bookstore and do the word of mouth thing to really bring in
Yes.
revenue and foot traffic for you, where can they
Absolutely.
find you?
I worked really hard to try to come up with a store name that would be easily both represent myself because my middle name is Daisy, but
Yeah.
also easily recognizable eventually when it got to the
Yeah.
point of being recognizable. So the Lazy Daisy
Yeah.
Bookshop, and I was able to get like my domains for that with everything like very basic. So
Good.
all my handles are just the Lazy Daisy Bookshop. My
Love it.
Perfect.
website is thelazydaisybookshop.com. Like that was definitely planned out. Like I didn't want to
Yeah.
have to do the Lazy Daisy Bookshop, North Carolina, or
Yeah.
Yep.
something that was going to inhibit people from just doing a basic Google search.
Yeah.
On Google too, the Lazy Daisy Bookshop.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those bookshop.org, Libra.fm, the Lazy Daisy Bookshop. There should only be one of me. So at least
Yeah.
at this point.
There you go.
Amazing.
So yeah,
Easy to
any
find.
of those.
Perfect.
I will say we're not
Alright.
super active on TikTok.
Okay.
I struggle with TikTok. We're there, but I struggle with it. I
get
specifically
that.
avoid it because I'm like, I already spend so much time on Instagram and Facebook. Like, I don't need a third social media.
Yeah.
And we get so many customers that come in and they're like, I saw you on TikTok. And I'm like, that probably wasn't
What?
mine. It's probably somebody else's. But
That's
wonderful.
so
Oh
funny.
man. That's so funny.
Anyways, I
Yeah, Lauren
digress.
won't even download TikTok. I kind of
No.
have to control all of that.
Good on you.
It's all on Darcy. I said, no más, por favor. I don't want anything else.
I don't
So
even
much.
go on it unless I'm making a post. I make a post and then I'm off, and then I'll go like a couple of people's things that like have been on the podcast just to stay
Yeah.
supportive, and that's it.
That's where I'm at. Yeah.
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 Relatable.
Too
Well,
many places to find people.
Lauren, what about you? Where can people find you?
Yeah, if people want to follow along on our crazy journey, you can find me and us at Misty Morning Stories. MistyMorningStories.com is the website. And then, like you were saying, Kristen, pretty much just find Misty Morning Stories on whatever platform you like. And you'll either find us or we just aren't on that platform.
Yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or not TikTok, sorry. TikTok is Untitled Working Podcast. But Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook, YouTube, Threads. I feel like there's
Threads. I'm also not on
more.
Oh,
Threads.
you
Threads
should
is
get on-
like
Threads is a
Threads
good
is like
one.
the armpit of the internet to me. It's so negative.
That's
Actually,
fair.
that
That's
is very fair. It's
That
kind
is
of become like
very
long form
fair.
Twitter in that regard.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's so negative. I get on
Yeah.
there and I'm immediately depressed and I have to leave.
Dang.
That's so
Dang.
fair.
I find sometimes you can connect with people, but a lot of it is just complaining,
Yeah.
which is
I
actually
mean,
the
I'm sure-
inspiration for this season.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
funny posts on there too, but in general,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Protect your mental health. You got to do what's
Right.
Yeah.
good for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I like Substack better. I feel like you can actually have more like nuanced conversations because it's more long form, which we're also on as Misty Morning Stories on Substack.
Substack.
But
Got so
Darcy,
many.
enough of Misty Morning Stories. Where can we find you and the podcast?
All right. Well, me is Darcy_Michaela. You can find me on Facebook just as Darcy Michaela, and you can find me on Instagram, Threads. I'm not giving you guys my Twitter handle.
She's still on Twitter.
I am still on Twitter. You guys can find Untitled Work in Podcast. That is Instagram as well as TikTok. If you ever interact with us on TikTok, just know it's me screaming at my keyboard trying to figure out how to be
Darcy.
professional.
yep.
Amazing.
Oh, and I have a website, darcymichaela.com. I always forget about that.
Yeah, there's so many. We kind of need like one of those, rolling credits that comes after like a medical ad. It's like just all the social media
Roll-
handles.
Roll the tape.
Just everything. Yeah,
Roll the tape.
Roll the tape.
Amazing. Well, Kristen, it was so cool that you got to come on. I'm so glad you
Yes,
said
thank
yes.
you.
And yeah, this has been really great. I think authors will get a lot of really good info from this for how to think about approaching bookstores and getting their works in there and also
Yeah.
supporting independent bookstores.
Yes,
Oh,
we must support
I
our
hope
bookstores.
it's helpful. Of course, I'm just one
Yeah.
person, and it's not like I know everything that I'm doing. I make it up as I go, but just
think we all are
Aren't
doing
we
that.
all?
when I learned that that's what adulthood really was, I was like, oh, I got this. I can do it. None of us know what we're doing. Wonderful.
I love it. I love it.
Real eye opener about how my parents raised me. I'm like, oh, they were
Yeah.
just winging it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, no,
gosh.
this has been great. I appreciate y'all having me on. I feel like we could have just had this conversation in my bookshop, like just yapping away.
yeah,
We do that a lot.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yay.
I love it. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, well, if you guys are in North Carolina or if any of our listeners are traveling through North Carolina, make sure you stop off the Lazy Daisy Bookshop so you can have an in-person
Yes.
convo with Kristen as well.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I guess, I guess I'll sign us off the way I always do. Just remember, guys, everybody is a work in progress. It's a process. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.